Hi, today we're reading from Front Desk by Kelly Yang, Chapter 49. Chapter 49 begins on page 206. Chapter 49. After Uncle Zhang left, we got a call from one of the other immigrants. He had been over to Mrs. Robinson's house, and the stolen neon green Ford Thunderbird was not there. I looked down at my lucky jeans and thought, phew. With the car officially nowhere to be found, I felt it was only appropriate I personally tell the owner, Mr. Lorenz. So I opened up the ledger, looked up his phone number, and gave him a call. When he didn't pick up, I glanced at his address and was surprised to see that he lived right here in Anaheim, a couple blocks from my school, actually. After school, Lupe and I went over to his house. Mr. Lorenz lived in a small yellow house on Orange Avenue. We walked up and knocked on the door. "Hello, Mr. Lorenz," I called. "Anyone home?" Lupe cupped her hands and tried to peer through the windows. We heard rustling and footsteps. Finally, the door opened a crack. "Who's asking?" Mr. Lorenz said. "It's me, Mia, the girl from the Cala Vista, where your car got stolen," I said. "And this is my friend Lupe." Lupe waved at Mr. Lorenz. "Hey," she said. "Can we come in?" I asked him. Mr. Lorenz didn't let us in right away. He paused to think about it, and then, finally, he sighed and undid the chain to his door. His house had a funky smell, like somebody had been cooking stinky tofu and forgot to open the window. Lupe wrinkled her nose as we took a seat on the couch. "This better be quick," Mr. Lorenz said. "Don't worry, this will only take a minute," I said. "I just wanted to come over and tell you personally that we cannot find your car." "That's okay. The insurance company has already comped me for it," he said. "I know, but still, it's important that you know." "Is that it?" Mr. Lorenz snapped. "Is that it?" Mr. Lorenz snapped. Just then we heard a loud vroom. A car speeding down the road had parked right in front of Mr. Lorenz's house. We glanced out the window. Our eyes stretched when we registered the color. Neon green. "Hey, isn't that?" Lupe asked. Yes, it was. It was a neon green Thunderbird. The neon green Thunderbird. The driver of the car got out and walked up to the house. He turned the doorknob. "Hey, man, you said the car was in perfect condition, but the windshield's got all these dents in it," the guy said, tossing the keys to Mr. Lorenz. Then he looked at us. "Who are you?" he asked. "We're just," Lupe said. "Leaving," I announced. I grabbed Lupe's hand and lunged for the door, but Mr. Lorenz was quicker than me. He slammed the door shut with one hand. "Not so fast," he said. "Where do you two think you're going?" "Home," I said. I glanced at Lupe. Sweat beads were falling like raindrops from her forehead. "We got to go home and do our homework, right, Lupe?" "Yeah, we have a lot of homework." "And when you're done doing your homework, what are you going to say?" Mr. Lorenz asked. He leaned into us. I could feel the hairs rising on my neck. "About what you saw." My breath caught in my throat. "Nothing," I said. "I didn't see anything." "Me neither," Lupe said. He stared at us. Desperately, I tried to erase my thoughts so he couldn't read them. "Good," he said. His wet lips twisted into a smirk. He crouched down and whispered into our ears, "Breathe a word about this to anyone, and I will come and find you." The threat grabbed me and smothered me as I ran all the way home. And that's the end of chapter 49.